I am not a financial advisor, and this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. The content discussed here is not intended as financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All opinions expressed are my own. Aloha and welcome back to the week to come. And I hope you had a good weekend and you got a chance to go outside. I'm gonna double check the audio's working. Give me 1 second. Alright, we're in good shape. Oh, so studio gremlins I think are out of the way, and now I think I can give you a great podcast. So, overnight futures are green, as you could tell from the title of the pod. Let's get into it. For me, it's still Sunday. For you, it's Monday, May 4th. Right now, currently, it's 9:30 p.m. my time, and that's somewhere about, let's say 4, 3, 2 o'clock your time. I'm gonna get some clocks in here that show all of the different markets, so I know exactly what time it is in New York. But currently, we aren't quite in the overnight. We're in the pre-market at the moment, and the pre-market opened up green. We're kicking off the first week of May with fresh all-time highs on the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, driven by strong earnings momentum and resilient tech leadership. April delivered blockbuster gains. The S&P 500 up over 10%, Nasdaq up over 15%, marking some of the best monthly performances in years. But as we turn the page, jobs data and fresh waves of earnings will test whether this bull run is has more to come, right? We don't know. Like, I was just looking at the S&P, the SPY charts, and it looks a little bit on the overbought side. We'll get into that in a little bit. As far as overall market sentiment goes, it's we're pretty bullish. We're in a greedy territory still, not extremely greedy, but pretty like greedy in the fear greed index. So we're staying a bit watchful still. The S&P 500 closed near 2250 territory, with the Nasdaq pushing above 25,000 for the first time. The tech and AI related names continued to lead, fueled by solid tech results last week. I think Alphabet's cloud surge and Apple's buyback was sort of a boost there. However, valuations remain elevated. Geopolitical tensions in the Middle East are keeping oil volatile, around 100 to 110 on the Brent, and bond yields are creeping higher on inflation worries from energy prices. So we haven't actually gotten the inflation baked in for the energy prices that we're gonna get from who knows how long of oil prices increasing. Obviously, the stock market doesn't care, but that doesn't mean that the world doesn't care. So we'll see how the overall market goes. Here are some key events and economic data for the upcoming week. Earnings season heats up with Palantir reporting tomorrow or today after close. Expectations are sky high with revenue growth projected above around 74% for the quarter. Now, before we go on, like, the street has been expecting a lot of stuff out of a lot of good companies lately, and it still took a dip. So we're gonna get into Palantir in a little bit, but we're gonna continue on with what's coming up broadwise. Watch U.S. commercial revenue closely. Strong beats here could keep the AI momentum alive. Tuesday brings Advanced Micro Devices, AMD, Pfizer, and more. Later in the week, Shopify, not Spotify, Arista, Arista Networks, and energy names like Occidental and Devon. Devon. Not my sector. I'm not going to correct it. Friday, we have jobs information. This is a big one. The U.S. April non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate coming in Friday, and that could kind of change whether we're going to get a rate cut or a rate hike, or we're just going to stay here in this slog neutral fest until we figure out what's going to happen during the I want to say what's going to happen during the de-escalation or re-escalation of the war, because honestly we can't have a rate cut or not without it. Thank you for the PSA. Check, check. Thank you very much. I love you. But with the economists looking around 74 or 73,000 to 95,000 jobs added, with unemployment steady near 4.3%, a hot number could reinforce Fed caution on rates. A miss might ease inflation fears, but raise growth concerns. Canadian jobs data drops the same day. Congratulations, Canada. I don't care. Factory orders on Monday or today, PMI and trade data midweek, and speeches from Fed officials. No major central bank meetings, but the focus stays on how persistent energy prices might influence future policy. That was a bit wordy. But as you can see, there's a lot of things coming on in the week, so personally, I'm not going to do a whole lot. Stick to my plan of selling options, right? Sometimes I don't always stick to that plan and I get all, let's buy some like long calls and stuff. During earnings is kind of a dodgy time, so I'm just going to stick to the usual, especially with all this other macro information coming up. I'm going to take a look at Palantir though and keep my eyes on that. So depending on what time they go live, if they do some kind of live earnings, maybe I'll run it live here on the pod. I won't necessarily be on with you, but I might as well run it here so you guys can kind of see. Maybe we'll check the mention markets as well. Kalshi probably has what they'll say, right, during the earnings call, like they did with Robinhood. So maybe I'll run the two together. We'll see how that goes. Here's a sector outlook and asset outlook. Tech and AI still the engine. Tech, like I said, Palantir and AMD are in the spotlight early in the week, like today for you, tomorrow for me. Beats here support the broadening rally narrative. Energy, oil prices remain elevated on geopolitics, but UAE's OPEC exit, potential supply shifts, and added uncertainty, energy stocks could stay pretty volatile. I'm going to watch that because I'm in LNG, right? So that matters to me. Now, at this point, I don't expect VG to run back to 1750 anytime soon. So I'm going to start running my covered calls on VG as it basically trades sideways. Because I put out some on Friday because it was a little bit bullish Friday, and I was like, you know what, it's not staying here. But I still threw it above my actual entry, right? Because that's important. So what's the point of you selling a covered call if it's not going to be profit both ways, right? Don't be greedy, right? Do the math correctly. It's like pocket change math too. Like if you're not doing the math, what the heck are you doing this for? Bonds and gold yields are under pressure. Higher gold has pulled back but remains a safe haven contender amid uncertainty. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Gold, I think, has finally found some sort of stability, like after it ran, then came down, and was doing kind of one of these for a bit. I don't know. Who knows, honestly. Gold has been doing some wild stuff. So here's some overall broader for the 2026. Analysts remain constructive, and equities. Hold on. Analysts remain constructive on equities with solid global growth expected around 2.8%, double-digit earnings, growth potential, and AI tailwinds. But risks include high valuations, geopolitical stocks, and the need for earnings breadth beyond the Magnificent Seven. Yeah, there's life beyond the Mag 7, and back when I was watching the week that was with Obi and Steph, they would say that all the time. Like, there's life beyond the Mag 7, and we're seeing that happen. Not everything in the Mag 7 was up, right? We they took a couple of hits here and there. So we're watching for earnings beats and guidance. Prioritize companies proving AI spend is translating into actual revenue, right? A good example is, well, they're not in the stock market, so it really doesn't matter. But Ramp is a good example of how they're turning AI into straight up revenue. And also Perplexity, they are an AI company, but like all of their marketing is run by like one person and like six agents. So if we can prove that AI and agentic AI can actually generate revenue without decreasing the need for jobs, I think we're going to stay in a pretty bullish area for AI, like in the short term as well as long term. Now I posted this maybe, I don't know, a week ago, maybe less than a week ago. I don't know. I post a lot, but someone told me, or I was reading that it's not AI necessarily that's going to take your job. It's a person who's using AI that's going to take your job, because AI doesn't need an income, right? So someone's got to run that engine. Someone's got to drive that vehicle, drive that truck, whatever, however you want to think about it. AI is just a tool and someone needs to use it. So it might as well be you or me. Like, I love using AI. I use it to try to help me condense and keep things engaging and exciting for you, right? Teachers use it to help hone in on the things that your children need, right? AI is for good use if you use it well, like anything, like a spoon. Like a spoon can be used to eat soup, but a spoon can also try to be used to eat steak. And imagine how stupid that would be. So, every tool has a necessary use. It's your job to learn how to use it. All right, so that's it for the upcoming market outlook. Now let's get into some nitty gritty details. Let's check, since the big thing that's coming out tomorrow, at least for me and all of retail, right? Duh, Palantir. So I'm gonna pull up the chart for that, and let's talk about some expectations here. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Thank you for joining me wherever you are, whenever you are. All right. And okay. So I don't know if you guys are, how many of you guys are familiar with Palantir, but I was introduced to it well beforehand, before I got to Hood Summit. But at Hood Summit, uh, one of my friends I made there showed me the ad for Palantir, and that's what kind of hooked me. I was like, whoa, that's what they're doing, and that's kind of what got me kind of really thinking about it. And at that point, they were trading still pretty high, kind of somewhere where we are, maybe a little bit higher, because that was last September. But I'm gonna run you uh, the actual ad for it, because you gotta hear it. Let me start here. Let me get it over to you now. That makes sense, right? One second. Just do it from here. There we go. And here's an ad from Palantir. mean, how trippy is that though? So as a drone pilot myself, I like that kind of blew my mind because I haven't flown drones very long, but once I started flying them and seeing how they function and the actual usefulness of it, like that was it. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I am stuck with it. I'm gonna love drones the rest of my life. Because at first, I got into drones a while back. My wife got me one for Christmas. It was I think it was from maybe Walmart or maybe Macy's, something like that. It wasn't a very expensive drone by any stretch of the imagination, but it was so difficult at that time to fly that drone because it had no auto takeoff, it had no auto landing, zero GPS. I hooked it up to my cell phone at the time, which had terrible uh, quality on the view. It had some janky helmet, and then I took it to the park, not knowing anything, and I take off. I get up maybe 25 feet with this 2012, 13, 14 drone, which I still have. I'll go dig it up. If I find it, I'll pull it up on the pod. But I got it up to about 25 feet, and that thing just the wind just blows it almost into the straight up street. So from that point on, I was like, oh, let's not. And then recently, we picked up another drone, and but DJI. Oh my god, the stuff that comes out of that company. I have their audio devices, the clip-on mics, just top notch. I wish I could trade them, but DJI has these mini drones that shoot in 4K that are tiny. They have auto takeoff, auto landing. A lot of people use the handheld version of the camera. It's the same camera, right? So you get super good quality. Maybe I'll pull up one of the drone footages actually, since we're talking about drones, real fast. Let me do that. No, not there. Here, yeah, it's already up. So, I mean, if you're looking for like 5 drone videos, I made a drone YouTube channel just for some stuff around my house and stuff like that. But I'll play a shorty at the beach because everybody loves the beach. So this is the ocean near the hotel that I work at on Saturdays. I took the drone out and just kind of seen what I can do, and my gosh, this is what drones can do now with almost no training. A couple of YouTube videos, some practice. There's even online videos of how you can like practice digitally, almost like a video game. It's incredible. So you don't even have to crash your drones anymore. Oh, that's the even best part. It doesn't even like it automatically doesn't hit the ground, like it senses it, so you don't crash it. They also automatically fly back to you if it loses range or it starts running out of battery. It'll just come back and land wherever the remote is. It's pretty incredible. It's hard to miss the hat guy, huh? Yep, that's my home. Not another landmass in sight. drones, right? Ah, oh, trees. Right, so you can kind of imagine. So if you don't already know this by the few minutes that you've seen, Palantir is a drone company and they can deploy drone technology. They're also a software company that can use AI to locate things, right? They're kind of dodgy, but as you can see, they're in kind of domestic protection and defense. But drones are kind of the way to go, so I needed to make sure that I knew how to fly one, and I love my DJI Mini 4K. Like, look at this. This is just me flying around with a little bit of time on my hands. All right, we'll cut this one short. But if you want to check it out, you can check it out. I have it's called Hot Hawaiian Flights. You can check that out on YouTube. But let's get back to Palantir. So they have earnings today after close. So hopefully we can go live for that somehow. So let's see how the analysts are looking at Palantir. Now, obviously, everybody I know, everybody I talk to, all bullish. Because, I mean, duh. Either bullish short term or bullish long term. It's Palantir. Why wouldn't you be? But let's check what Digest says. So if you don't utilize Robinhood Legend and Robinhood Cortex Digests, man, it's wordy. Digest is great because it's automatically updated every few minutes or so. So let's check out what Digest says. So Palantir is set to report Q1 2026 earnings today after close. Wall Street expecting 1.4 billion in revenue, up 74% year over year. That is a high expectation. I hope they get there, because if they don't like keep beating it, just that's it. It's gonna come back down to this kind of, what is this, April? Okay, so it's about a year. This is, oh no, this is not a year. This is a month. Let's zoom out a bit. Let's get a good. Okay, there we go. That's roughly about a year right here. So Palantir has kind of traded sideways for what looks like all of 2026. So this is kind of a huge earnings for them. Like, they've kind of consolidated. They've tested the lows of like 129. What is it here? Where did it test? Ooh, 123. Jesus, that is very low. I hope we don't ever get there again. But it looks like if like we don't get like super good earnings from Palantir, like we could definitely test this kind of 130 again. So I'm gonna look to that. Like, I'll load up there. I'm not gonna try to play anything fancy or play anything special. I'm just gonna watch it, see how it goes. Hope my position gets higher. If it doesn't, whatever. I'll buy lower, because that's it, right? You like a company, you want it cheaper, you buy it lower, or buy some leaps lower, right? Because if it takes a dip, that's when you buy some leaps. You're like, oh, cool, perfect. Get some maybe 120 leaps. When it rips down to 120, maybe it tests 130 again. I'd buy some 120 leaps for that. What are those costing anyway? Yeah, I don't mind that. And we are looking at. Sorry, because I'm doing anything over the internet, everything kind of drags. Let's see here. Okay. Whoosh. No, what are you doing? Not today. Okay. No, 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 no. Squeeze. Okay. Now let's go down to the. Okay. Let's look at this one. What are the 120? Oh, not wrong way. 120 calls at. That's not bad, actually. So if it comes down. Duh. Not looking to buy it in this one. What are we looking at? That's not bad. So if it comes down, it'd be a decent opportunity. Maybe even buy them sooner. Let's see, that's getting fancy. I don't want to get fancy. This week I'm looking to make some damn money, right? I'm not looking to guess at anything. Sell my covered calls, take my profits, be happy about it. I got some BM&R ones coming in, expiring this coming week, so I'm looking forward to some profit off of that. Because honestly, I don't see it getting to, what did I sell them off at? Maybe 30. Like I sold them above my buy line, which was unfortunately high, but I keep buying more shares of it too, so I've got a decent amount. Because I still believe Tom Lee. I still believe it is pretty bullish. I'm also trading a little bit of orbs too, just because it's dirt cheap, and it's like being able to own Beast Industries, because that's kind of like 7% investment into Beast Industries from orbs, I think. I don't know. I don't keep the numbers exact because honestly, I don't care all that much. I'm a trader, not a memorizer. If I need the information, I'll go look for it. So back to Palantir. Oppenheimer initiated coverage on Palantir with a buy rating and a $200 price target. So what do we see here? $200. Yeah, okay. So that's a decent gap it has to fill though. Like this is not anytime soon. Like, oh god, I mean that's just the recent highs. So, but is honestly anything at all-time highs other than the S&P and other stuff. Insider share acquisition. Chief Accounting Officer Jeffrey Buckley acquired 21,141 Class A shares on April 26th. Interesting. Increasing their direct holdings to 64,000. That's pretty high. That's a lot of buying too. Like, why would you buy before earnings if it's gonna do poorly, right? So that's kind of bullish. So maybe the street is right. Maybe we're gonna get a decent earnings off of them. 74%. Oh, no, it was good. Nothing went wrong. I'm trying to up it. Ugh. No. Jeez. Okay. I mean, I love how speedy and up to date the information is, so I always try to thumbs up it and appreciate them for it. Because, like, I could refresh it right now, and that was 6 minutes ago. I mean, I don't expect anything new overnight, because you can see the charts are pretty chill. In other news, let's see how AMC is. Because they're also reporting earnings this week as well. AMD. Hello. No, not AMC. AMD. Scheduled for May 5th, which is Tuesday. AI powered, not advice. Updated 5 minutes. Okay. Advanced Micro Devices is set to report Q1 2026 earnings on May 5th, with Wall Street expecting 33% EPS growth to 1.28. Yep. And revenue near 9.88 billion. That's good. Strong demand for EPYC server, CPUs, and AI GPUs is driving optimism. Analysts highlight data center growth and MI350 chip ramp up as key factors this earning event. This earning event is the main focus for investors ahead of the report. Interesting. So we got some mixed analyst rating, as you can see here, if you're reading along with me. Kathy Wood also sells shares, so that's kind of bearish. But look at that chart, right? It's ripped. So if let's say AMD doesn't do great, and it comes down, and it comes down kind of hard, this is where we're looking at, right? 260. So if I was to play AMD, I would wait. Like statistically, chart reading wise, I would wait. Or don't get fancy. This could like straight up rip. I don't know. I don't follow it well enough. It seems like a good price for what it is. Right? Look at all. I mean, got best stocks to buy. Right? Lots of good news coming in, it seems. Hey, can't be mad at it. But thank you. Jeez. Let's look at my bread and butter. Intel Corp. How we doing? Are we over? Oh yeah. As you can see, I got a lot of lines going on for Intel because I've been playing with them a while. As you can see, these are my boxes. I like to think of myself as a boxer trader. I draw boxes and predict things inside of and outside the boxes. That's how I think about fighting, martial arts wise, right? Stick to your box, focus on a box. I focus on boxes. As you can see, I have no box written for anything recently just because I didn't know what the heck was happening. I was hoping for it to like come through here. I mean, I should update it. Move this through here. Is it locked? Ay, koibe. Obviously I have to draw some new boxes. I'm gonna do that later because it's just laggy with trying to stream. What, currently trading at 99.62. That's crazy. Oh no. Hold up. We're over 100. Got to 103. My goodness. I love this stock. Hope y'all loaded the boat at 18 last year. Congratulations if you did, because you're up an F ton. I'm not going to do the math. It is almost 10 o'clock. It is over 10 o'clock here in Hawaii, so I'm not going to do the math on that for you. But Lord, jeez. Like, I get palpitations every time I see this. Like, that is a huge number. It was under $20 last year. Can you believe that? Like, this isn't some SanDisk, right? Oh, if anybody got into that, just congratulations to you. But man, just admiring it here for a second. Trading over $100, 1% overnight, with a high of 103. Just a quick test of that. And I don't see it coming down. I mean, the moving averages are not going to be pretty. I can see that from here already. Like, everything's overblown. It's got to be. let's check it on this chart where I have all my pretty lines. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, you gotta expect some kind of correction though. I'm not like I'm bullish, but like that just is unsustainable. Look at where the averages are. Like I mean, look at this huge gap. Oh no. See, this is why I don't like zooming out sometimes, because as a trader, you know that it just cannot sustain. I mean, I want it to, and I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to change my position all of a sudden, but as a trader, I look at this and I'm like, oh, crud. We could very well just, for some negative reason, maybe some kind of pullout, we could retest 60, 70 again. And if that happens, yeah, maybe I do something. But I don't even know if I want to sell covered calls right now on these. Like I don't touch Intel too much. I just kind of ignore it. Some things I trade, some things I just ignore for the family. And these are one of those things. I don't know, I'm gonna think about that. Postulate a little bit, right? What to do. Because honestly, that's the biggest part of the game. Is all the thinking we do, the postulating and the surmising. What will happen? Predicting is part of the game. Now we back test and we look at moving averages and we do our best to understand how money functions. But honestly, it's all speculative guessing. We get good at it sometimes, but a lot of the time we don't. And we think we can predict and we don't. So I don't predict anymore. I just try to take my money and live a good life. Excuse me, I bumped that. Now I'm thinking this week with the volatility might be increasing. See if there are some good opportunities to write some covered calls. Maybe some cash secured puts on some stuff that are just being sold a little bit aggressively for no good reason. I'm not quite sure what that is yet. I'm going to take a look at and do some due diligence here overnight. I got a little bit of time, so might as well. I'm already up here in the pre-market time anyway, so sometimes some of you might be up right now checking out how the world goes. Let's see if anything's happened overnight. Might as well double check, right? I'll show it to you if I find anything interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to bring you up on that. So I follow a lot of Kalshi markets, Kalshi trading. But this is a repost from Tarek from my friend the Grande. If you don't know, the Grande top 10 trades. Actually, I take that back. It's probably the savant billboards and music trader. Period. It's the best way to put it. But as you can see here, it says that I find it interesting that Wall Street Journal posted an article on why Kalshi doesn't work, yet the opening story shows exactly how it works. You still need to be fiscally responsible. Putting your entire portfolio in one trade isn't smart. Duh. Somebody full ported something and then blamed Kalshi for it? Ugh. Idiot. Nor is it Kalshi's fault. Yeah. The man made 40... What are we complaining about then? Okay, I don't understand. Whatever. Someone's whining for no reason. They made some money. Oh, this. Okay. You know what? I'm going to run some information from my sponsors real fast, and then we're going to get into this nonsense. Are you kidding me with this? All right, welcome back. Oh my gosh, so GameStop wants to buy eBay. Yeah, that's gonna be on the news for a little while moving forward. Oh, I need to get comfortable for this. This is just okay. So, first of all, GameStop probably can't afford it. Like GameStop has maybe 9 billion in cash when eBay is worth probably 50 billion, but they're gonna buy it for 55.5 billion. With whose money? Like who wants this to happen? So GarageSale.com wants to sell to GameStop? What? Why? I don't see the money. I don't understand this. Like why would eBay even need to sell? They seem to be doing perfectly fine. Like everybody knows about eBay. That's where you buy and sell stuff that you can't buy on Amazon. GameStop, on the other hand, okay, and GameStop's just out of freaking pocket too. Like, why are y'all crashing out here? Like, you don't have a direction at all. Like, okay, all of a sudden, GameStop thinks they're gonna be what? The buy and sell of the online space? No, they're already behind. GameStop, just file Chapter 11 and die. No one goes to you unless you're selling freaking Pokemon cards. And who sells their Pokemon cards? Like, that's dumb too. Just hold on to it forever and ever. It's only going to go up. I'm just kidding. It may or may not. I don't know. I've got Pokemon cards. Everybody does. Are they worth some money? Yeah. And my neighbor across the street's got a signed Babe Ruth card. Imagine how much that's worth. I wonder how much that's worth. Huh. Enough crashing out about this. We're gonna do more updating on this. But how, like a 27% premium? Why? You're broke. Oh my gosh, SanDisk. It's insane. Look at the price targets on this. Like they're pricing in at what, 2,000, 1,400, 1,200. Jesus. Long-term deal sum to 2030. Yeah, I don't know if I would touch this. I mean, it could get over 4,000, like AutoZone. Traders of AutoZone must be just loaded and quiet because it's not retail, that's for sure. Because we'd be bragging our ass off about. Oh, come on, what just happened? Oh, here we go. Wait. Oh no, we're good. All right. Well, that's interesting. Wow. Interesting. Wow. Can't even with it. I wonder what else is going on. Let's double check. All right. Looks like people are green. GameStop, shut up. Oh, I can't even with you. Yeah, Bitcoin and Robinhood markets are up overnight. But honestly, though, with Sunday pumps, you gotta kind of just chill. Like we always pump on a Sunday. Like I say, 9 out of 10 times we pump on a Sunday. SanDisk 1,200 overnight. Bananas. Like if you put in, let's say like 30K a year ago, you'd be up over $1 million right now, maybe more. I don't know. Someone can check me on that math. Too tired to care. Let's see. Hopefully one of these days we'll get some people in the chat and I can talk to them instead of just scrolling Twitter or X. Oh, we got that too. Now Twitter and X is back, and whether it's called what? Ugh, I don't know. We got Mr. Beast crashing out, calling it Twitter again. Greg calling his ass out on things. Ugh, the usual. The usual. Now feel free to drop your comments in the chat if you're watching this later on too. I'll get back to it. Even the haters, I'll get back to you guys too. There was someone the other day that came into the chat on Friday that I didn't know whether they were trolling or actually confused. So that was interesting. That was a first for me. But what you gonna do? Sometimes it happens. The video. Always watching a video. Politics wise, 80% chance Democratic Party wins the House this year, so keep your eyes on that. Markets wise, if let's say that happens, they tend to do okay. Like markets tend to do pretty fine, if not pretty well, in a kind of mixed government, because no laws and bills get passed, so the markets can kind of go uninhibited. So that's good for everybody. Bitcoin reclaims 80K for a little while. Usual Sunday overnight greens. SoFi up, Hood up, Nibius up, Palantir, Nvidia, Qs, SPY, all up. I'm reading that off of Dr. Crossroads. If you don't follow him, I don't know what the hell you're doing out here. Like, I'm up here just doing my best. That bro knows his shit. Interesting. Alright, that's it for over the weekend, it seems. Unless there's something from TKL. Let me just double check that real fast. Thank you for tuning in. Here we go. Bitcoin 80K, yep. Wealth Gap, yep. GameStop, dumb. U.S. oil prices fall below $100 a barrel as President Trump announces that U.S. will be guiding ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, I don't care. Mostly because I've been covering oil in the Strait of Hormuz for, I don't know, 8 or 10 or 12, 14 weeks now. Markets don't care, I don't care. Because honestly, like, what does that matter? Like, during the week it's going to be fine, and then Saturday it's going to be like, we hate each other again. Tuesday up, Thursday down, blah, 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 blah. There's mines in there, too. Like, I don't know how any of this is just going to work out. It's just not a good... It's not a good situation. Ooh, but in better news, and more interesting news, well, maybe not more interesting, but more interesting to me, is I want to introduce you to our office plant, our studio plant. Maybe we can name them. We got some top contenders being Tyrone because it's a tea leaf plant. Here, I'm gonna show you. Ta-da! Now it's not very big right now. But it'll get there. And we're going to have this nice little green area here going on. So we got some grow lights going on. We also have some ferns growing in there as well. I'd move my entire setup to show you, but I'm not going to do that because it took me forever to get it set up, so I'm not going to do that as well. At the risk of losing the entire pod midway through to show you some plants, it's probably a bad idea if I start trying to mess with stuff, huh? All right. Get my 1980s headphones back on because they're hood colors. Like, duh. Right? They got the tennis ball green going. And honestly, it's just to make sure that I can hear everything going on. Now, as you can see, well, you can't see anything yet, but I'm going to show you something in just a second. We're not checking Intel right now. But dang. Okay, we're not looking at that. How's the SPY doing? Alright, so we're down from where we were the other day. Let's check a smaller candle. Smaller time frame. Ugh. And now it's gonna lag out. Ugh. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay, so we're down from here. Now that was the most recent high of 724.87. Okay, so I think we're getting into that being the most recent high, and that's going to be kind of our start of our new box. Because we need to not correct, but we need to consolidate. We need to find some support before we can move on, right? We got to gather the team, right? So right now we're rallying. We're leaving the moving averages. We're above the 50 and above all of the other ones, 100, 200, 150, all of them. We're above all of them. So we're kind of, I think this was that kind of spike of the overbought. And then we're going to start kind of trading in here. So I think we're going to test this 109 or 709 again. If not lower, so maybe 700. Just got to tap it. We're going to tap it. We're going to test it. We're going to test it. We got to be realistic here. But look at that rip for the month. And then when it did test it, it only tested the 200 day. So that's where I'm looking, right? So right now the 200 days got us right about, okay, zoom in please. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. So that's right here. So 713 is my week for this week's test. We're going to test that 713 because that's where the 200-day moving average is, just to keep it simple. I don't see why that wouldn't be the case if we're going to, like, what would be pushing the market any farther than this? We're not done crisis wise. We got jobs coming in. I think we trade sideways this week. So let's draw a box, as the boxing person I am. One box coming up. So we'll keep it here. This is the high. Here's the low. Okay, come on. I'm not doing that. Okay. There we go. What is happening? Just stay there. Okay, now lock in place. Alright. So I don't think the SPY gets out of this box. That's really the whole theory. I wish I had more for you, but I don't. Because I'm not that kind of trader. I kind of just look, take a whiff, and go with my gut. And my gut says, we're going to come down a tad. We're going to stay in this box for a little while before we leave it. I think we see 700 before we see 730. If that's bearish, whatever. I'm just a realistic bull. I want things to go up. But I don't mind things coming down. Because it's already coming down overnight. It's coming down from the top. Because we've been trading far too high for far too long. I mean, weeks and weeks and weeks of up. I think this week we come down. Am I going to trade it? No. Because I'm wrong all the time. That's why I trade covered calls. Because I'm not wrong there. Sometimes it rips. I don't care. That's the money I wanted when I put out the position, right? If you want to buy them back at a loss, you can do something dumb like that. Just let them get called away. There's more stuff to buy out there. Always more things coming up. More advances, more companies that will be profiting. Just let it get called away. I don't care. All right. Now it seems like the night's coming down to a chill, and we got another few hours. Let's see, 10:30 here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, about 6 hours till market's open for you guys. I think 3:30 my time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 hours. Yeah, I gotta get these clocks up in here. I think it'll be a lot easier for me to to know what time it is, time zone wise, for everybody. I'm looking forward to the day where I'll have other people in here, someone to riff with, right? It's hard to carry a conversation on for an hour. I did it all the time as a hairstylist, but as a hairstylist, there's a person there. Someone's got to get their hair done for me to be a hairstylist. So even that, I get to riff off a little bit there. But as I look here at the content coming out, I'm really stoked about how the pod's looking, and I'm hoping that if I continue to build, people will come. My wife said that, and I believe that. She's been a big supporter of the pod, so all this beautiful stuff, it's a lot got to do with her. Taking care of Franklin while I'm just trying to be out here on the internet, sharing my stories and my knowledge with you guys. Or you. Just you. Whoever's out there. There's got to be a Mr. Rogers type for this kind of thing anyway. Why not shoot for that? Ah, damn, that guy was cool, huh? Rest in peace, Mr. Rogers. Right. Now, as I bring this pod to a close, I'm just going to go over some stuff that I learned throughout the weekend. Just because I think it's important to learn things outside of the stock market, too. I learned about planting more plants and the type of things that go with other things. Because it's springtime here. Well, it's springtime everywhere. But it's springtime, and we're planting more plants. If you follow me on YouTube, you've seen our video of us planting this vertical tower. Love that thing. That thing is thriving. I encourage anybody who's got a limited space or just a limited amount of time to focus, put it in a tower, because you just water the top and then it trickles down throughout the rest of it. So I love my little mini tower garden that my wife put together. It's super cool. We utilize some of those herbs to put into a potato salad for dinner. That was delicious too. Now the yield was real low because we obviously just planted those maybe like a week ago, but just to kind of get the momentum going of like, yep, we're going to utilize these herbs to supply for the food in the house, right? Why not? That's why you grow things. Like we have lots of space, but because I do archery, so I kind of need a lot of space to do archery. But it's windy, right? So that has its caveat. So I'm having to learn what can grow out in the spans. So a lot of the things that I try to grow well close to the house. So I'm having to kind of learn how that goes because I can't just let it get wind slapped all day. Also, we got these ridiculous beetles that keep eating my apple tree. Ugh, I don't know what to do with that. I, I'm spraying it with some like soapy water. That's supposed to help. I don't know. I also saw some. I watched some Spanish and Mexican gardeners, and they mix up a little bit of what looks like wood ash, and water, and then they just kind of paint it or spray it on a tree. So I think that's what I'm gonna try next. Is when it's not so windy, maybe burn some wood, make some ash water, and do that. Like you got to try to preserve your assets. It's the same thing with investing. When your assets aren't doing well, you got to figure out what to do, whether it's write some covered calls, cash secured puts because it's low and about to come up, who knows, right? But it's the same thing with my apple trees. I'm trying to figure out why it's not growing the way it's supposed to be growing. And I think it's the damn beetles. So I'm going to go and just murder those beetles sometimes within the next couple weeks. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Also, with my Tyrone, I think we're just going to stick with Tyrone, honestly. It's just Tyrone, the tea leaf plant. So you can't tell in the light, but the plant is actually red and green. So tea leaves come in multiple colors. You probably know that. But the ones here are red and green. But I haven't seen too many that are red and green. So I got a red and green one. Because green is a life plant, red, death. That's just how Hawaiian culture functions, right? So the make tea leaf, or the red tea leaf, was usually made to signify burial sites. So I don't tend to put that out at the house. So I got the mixed one for a little bit of red green vibe. Stock market, red or green, right? When it grows a little bit bigger, or I'll do a pod during the day, and you'll see how pretty Tyrone really is. I also got some little gnomes in there. I'll do a little post of my tea leaf plant, maybe a little video. I don't know. I'm stoked. I love trees and plants, and it just made a lot of sense to put it in the office. Also, too, as you can see, you got these are my different types of awards for archery. I've I've placed first, second, and third, so I've got every color. Uh, this is my Robin Hood Summit like name placard. I don't know what to call those, convention badges. Like it's honestly one of my proudest achievements. Like I don't get invited to too many like corporate type things, and that was like a spark. Like I got to meet all of my friends, and uh, I'm appreciative for all of the wonderful things that Robinhood has brought me. Like honestly, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about investments without them. I wouldn't be doing anything I'm doing without them. It just that door was open. I took a chance. They made the tools available. Like all the tools I needed were available. But the at the time they had the week that was. So what I could do was I could just test out different things and then come in on Friday to the week that was, jump in the chat and be like, "All right, Obi. All right, Steph. What the heck did I just do? This thing is broken." I was up, down, down. What's wrong? And sometimes I'd be really emotional. Like that was the hardest part at first. Is the emotional toll. Like I didn't have a whole bunch of money in there. Who does? Who has? No one has all the money they need in their accounts at first. But when when I first got on, yeah, it was really emotional because I didn't know what I was doing, and things are going up and down, and I'm seeing that the S&P is up, but then I'm down. I'm like, what's going on? So I'd come in and check with the show on Friday, and I'd get a more even feel. Like I'd feel good over the weekend. So that's what I'm trying to provide for you and all of the other followers who will come in here one day. Is kind of a calm place for a second that you can just sit and chill, and we can talk about the markets in a calm way. It'll come back. It'll go away. It's like an ocean, right? The tides come in, the tides come out. Sometimes you get tsunamis, hurricanes, but at the end of the day, things revert back to some sort of average. So we just keep our eyes on the averages. But so as a way to kind of calm myself down after a emotional week, I'm not as emotionally um, driven as I was when I first started trading, but doesn't mean I'm not emotional. It's still money, right? Money still matters. So it's important that you keep your eyes on it, but you don't want it to like completely affect your life. That's dumb. Like that's super dumb. Like why would you want that? That's bad for everybody. Because then your family doesn't do well, and you don't do well. You're stressed out all the time. Like I don't stress out about the stock market anymore. There's so many other things to stress out about in my life. Like I want to provide a good living. I'm doing pretty good. I can get my bills paid. Still have a little money to do some other stuff. And that's the most important part. But at the risk of rambling on for another hour, talking about all the cool things in my office, like all these books. And I think it's called a library lamp, maybe? I'm not too sure, actually. But that's your stock market outlook for the week and your market news. A little bit of rambling from a person who had to run this show twice, once in silent, and the second time after getting a pep talk and some love from my family, I got back on. I did it again, and honestly, I'm really happy I did. It looks really nice. Like I'm hoping that when people see this, that they enjoy the look going on right now. Now, as you can see, the color behind me is green, but the cool thing is I can change it. So when the markets aren't as green, I'll change it to red, just because we got to keep the vibe going, right? Keep things changing. And you can see in my message down here, always check the audio. Running a pod by yourself is difficult. So props to whoever does it and does it well. Honestly, I see a lot of people who do podcasts, and their scenes for fintech are really, really rudimentary a lot of the time. Like, and I couldn't have that. Honestly, I can't sit in a plain room with bad lighting looking like just straight up trash. Right? Like, I'm not going to go as far as putting on some blotting powder or HD powder. Not yet. I don't require that kind of thing yet. Maybe if I ever get on national TV or something, I have to put some blotting powder on. Because I sweat like a freaking cow or pig. I don't think either of them sweat, honestly. I know pigs don't sweat because they gotta wallow. That's why they roll around in the mud. But over the few weeks, months, I mean, this is the first quarter. So I've been doing this podcast since somewhere around December 4th, my birthday last year. And I must admit that I've made a lot of progress, and I'm happy that I get to bring this content to you, even though it's tough and comes with a lot of learning curves, lots of technology I had to learn. A lot of the lighting setup functions for me, like just I had to learn, like a fill light. Like this is a fill light. Like if I was like see if I could turn it off, but then it would just like blow up. And then we got a key light up here, right? Just to try to keep things nice and clean and simple. Stuff going on in the background. I'm finally got my Legacy and Logic poster up that my wife made, and some beautiful pictures. I'm happy here sitting with you. So thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you for being a subscriber to the channel. With that being said, I'm going to bring this pod to a close. And as always, farewell, stay safe, a hui ho, and I'll see you on the porch.